Are the demons really evil? Because if they're not, well, what does that say about Frieren? I mean, this is a child for Christ's sake, and this girl is forced to unalive herself in Minecraft. Not to mention this guy just wants to fit into society. Well, to be fair, the real question isn't whether Frieren is evil or not, which you will understand once we talk about the demons. The real question is how we as an audience became so misled that we started questioning who the good guys of this story are. And well, in order to answer that question, we do need to clarify what the demons are. Demons in Frieren are cold-hearted monsters, and the best behaved ones could at best be described as highly functional psychopaths. And to go even deeper into the lore of the world, they're considered a type of highly intelligent monster that preys on humans. Now, demons are a type of monster that don't care for family or friends, but what they do realize is that these concepts matter to us and hence can be used against us. A prime example of this is Lugner acting as a diplomat from the demons, saying that he wants to end the bloodshed due to his family getting killed, just to in the next scene say this.
What is a father?
Who can say?
And this gaslighting that the demons do is so good that even us as an audience start getting affected. I mean, I felt bad when they had to kill the demon child or when Aura had to unalive herself in Minecraft. Now, to be fair, the latter might just be a result of all the memes, or should I say demon propaganda that arose after that episode aired.
But hold up a second, sure, the kid was just manipulative and Aura as well, Aura. But what about the demons who just want to try to live with humans? Surely some of those can't be that evil, right? Well, have you heard the story called The Scorpion and the Frog?
The story, for those of you who haven't heard it, is about a scorpion who wants to cross a river. However, he can't swim, so he asks a frog for a lift on its back. The frog is reluctant at first, saying the scorpion will just stab him, but the scorpion simply replies that if he does, he dies as well. The frog agrees. However, halfway across the river, something happens. Anyways, after the stabbing, they both start drowning and the frog asks the scorpion why he would do such a thing, to which the scorpion simply replied, "It's in my nature," as they both died. It almost sounds like a German bedtime story, which would be fitting considering the German inspiration in Frieren. Anyways, we're not here to discuss that in detail. Instead, how does this relate to the demons in Frieren? In case I have to spell it out, these demons are scorpions. It's in their nature. They literally can't help themselves or understand why humans have the values they do. And as I touched on previously, they aren't even group monsters to begin with, so there's actually no point for them in trying to live with humans. It's a survival tactic, nothing more.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
Now, call me crazy, but isn't there a little bit of correlation between Frieren and the demons? Think about it. Both struggle to understand human norms, both like to live alone, and neither the demons or Frieren have an issue in killing each other at first opportunity. Well, it's not uncommon that people who lack social skills are often assumed to act the way they do out of malice instead of ignorance or even inability. But in the show, we certainly see Frieren being a victim of this. In Himmel's funeral, the audience reacts to Frieren not showing any emotions, or well, that's to say before this happens, and I'm just gonna need a second. I'm good. Okay, so the first time we see her meeting Lugner, she instantly goes for the attack as well without a second's hesitation. Now, I don't know about you, but if I didn't understand the true nature of demons, I would deem that to be pretty psychotic behavior, and sure, she has some strange reactions upon meeting Sane. I would, however, say it's a bit of the rule of cool you often see in role-playing, aka it's allowed because it provides a lot of value, while actually not making sense or being really super relevant to her character character or story. And ultimately you could say that all of Frieren's antisocial tendencies don't stem from a point of not wanting to belong, but rather that she can't. She is almost a polar opposite to the demons in that way, but the real difference between Frieren and the demons, of course, is the reason for why they do what they do. While demons are monsters who live alone, for Frieren, she just doesn't want to be hurt. If she's gonna outlive them anyways, why endure the pain of losing someone you love? And I mean, in a sense, part of the story is about her finding out that this strategy doesn't actually work. Now, I won't go as far as to call her autistic because, well, I think it's hard to say. When you're an eternal elf, at least in aging, there is simply too much of a culture shock taking place. I mean, time doesn't matter as much, which is one of the most important things to a lot of humans since we have such a finite amount of it. But for Frieren, she just can't understand it. I mean, she literally calls their grand adventure, that for a lot of the other characters is their life's work, a small 10-year adventure. Now, sure, she does have a hyperfixation to magic, then again it's also her only remaining link to her dead teacher, not to mention it also helps her in social situations. And based on the few elves we have seen, devoting your life to something like that seems to be the standard. In the end though, the major difference is that Frieren wants to live alongside humans and can do so. Unlike Frieren, even the demons who try to live alongside humans, and I won't spoil too much because it's partly in the manga, end in disaster. Speaking of going back to the demons, or should I say certain reactions to them, what makes this interesting is that even though this clearly is an evil fantasy race where the constant failure of coexistence is evident and their treacherous nature is on full display, I mean, they even admit it themselves.
It's simple. That word stops humans. It keeps them from murdering us. Isn't that magical?
And what's insane is that even with this, the gaslighting is still so strong that the audience starts viewing them as humanoids, as a fantasy race like tieflings from D&D that can be good and reasoned with. Or hell, some even go as far as comparing them to Frieren and their antisocial tendencies. It's pure manipulation from the demons and by extension show writers, and I've said this before and will say it again. The fact that by proxy so many in the audience get manipulated by them just acts as a solid proof of how good the writing really is. It truly is a masterpiece. Sadly, not everyone sees it that way. Now, I ain't mad at him though, so don't send him any hate. However, I am mad that I saw this new way of packaging this video, which is not that the demons are evil, but is Frieren evil, before these videos started coming out. I was even in the middle of making one of these videos, and then I got sick. I found this, which is from the hospital. Now I'll take a picture and I'll show it on the screen blurred and all that, but here's all my personal information. But what it says is that it started on the 10th of November. I am recording this in the beginning of February. It's like 3 months of being constantly sick. And while I lie there sick in bed, already fucking destroyed because I've been sick for like a month, I see my ideas being ripped straight from my hands. And it's not because I'm lazy or anything. If that's the case, hell, it's a competition, YouTube. But this is like, I can't do shit about this. And then on top of that, I'm already soul crushed because my previous video performed really poorly. I'll talk a bit more about that in my next video. But if you wondered why this video was late and why I haven't uploaded in a while, now you know. Speaking of sickness though, I gotta say it was certainly one of the vibes of all time to watch Dandaran while having an epidemite inflation. Is that what you say it in English? Issues around this area. It's great though, and trust me, you don't need to have an epidemite infection to watch it. In fact, if you want to know more about it, click here. With that said, take care. Bye.